Hey everybody, Jim Powers with SBLiveMissouri.com, and we're in the midst of the championship week here in Missouri for classes 1 through 5 in the 8-man teams. And a man that some of you may remember from his playing days in the NFL with the Rams and did such a great job then. And now he's gone to coaching, and now he's doing a terrific job at Lutheran St. Charles High School, Arlen Harris. And Arlen, first off, congratulations. What a great run for you guys this year. And I know it's something you've been building over the last bunch of years up at Lutheran St. Charles.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a good group of kids that bought in, a few years ago, and we're just trying to establish a program each year. And right now we're at the pinnacle and trying to get it done.
How excited is the community at Lutheran St. Charles? This is the first time that they've ever been to a football state championship. The cool thing is the boys soccer team won the state soccer championship last week. So it's just got to be crazy up there right now.
Oh yeah, we're super excited. We always joke the girls get all the trophies at our school, so now the boys are trying to play some catch up. And soccer had an amazing season, and we're trying to finish the same way. But the energy, you can feel it in the hallways. Administration, staff, fans, parents are ecstatic about this opportunity.
Let's talk about the season. And you guys have really had a terrific year. Had to juggle your schedule a little bit because in your conference you had a couple teams that have one closed, another one moved. Talk about the season and talk about how it's been to get to this point to play for the state championship.
Well, it's been a process. It's definitely been a process, and it started last year. Even during the COVID season, we picked up some bigger schools, some Class Sixes, to try to prepare for them, for this moment like these. And we didn't finish the way we wanted to last year, so we wanted to, re-up, still pick some challenging teams out of state and within the area that we thought that would prepare us, for the playoffs and make us a better team. And I think we've done that.
Couple losses early, but the one I want to talk a little bit about was St. Mary's, and obviously St. Mary's playing this weekend as well in the Class 3. But you mentioned in our call yesterday with the play-by-play of the talent for the championships that even though you lost, you took a lot of positives out of that, and you've built upon that. Kind of walk us through that thought process after the St. Mary's game.
Yeah, we talk about that, process, and it was very important. We came out week one and lost, to a really good Denver team.
Mhm.
And that was more for the coaches. That was humbling. We got out coached. And then I feel like St. Mary's, we were super prepared, and the kids, felt like, what, maybe we weren't prepared. So it was a rude awakening for us to get there. And, we were in positions to make plays. I think we could have made the game a lot closer, and we felt like we were ready to compete. And, we just weren't, at that time. And I think that really catapulted us in the direction that we wanted to go collectively, both staff and players. And we got the ball rolling, and we're not looking back.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple reasons why you're not looking back. And this is the cool part about this whole story. You've got both your kids playing for you. One is leading the offense, the other one's leading the defense. Let's talk about Arlen Jr. first. He's going to Stanford. Just a terrific young man he is on the field and off the field. I remember him, years ago, just running around, and that now he's turned into be one of the best running backs that we've seen in the St. Louis Metro in an awfully long time.
Yeah. AJ's a special kid, and I feel like I can separate the two, being dad and being a coach. And he's a yes sir, no sir kid, and he works so hard, both on and on. So the preparation when we get to the field, a lot of us, in our community, are not surprised at some of the success that he's had, and he's a big time leader for us. And he leads the march in the running game, and we get him involved in different aspects. So I'm super proud of him as a father, but more so as a coach, because we have a lot of kids that play off of each other, and he's a special one.
And the one thing I love about watching him play is he reminds me a lot about you when you played. He sees the hole, he's able to plant, put his foot in the ground and get his shoulder pads square north and south and get going. And not a lot of runners know how to do that in the high school side. A lot of them will learn that in the college scheme of things. But seeing him being able to do that kind of stuff on the high school level kind of shows, and he's following in the footsteps of his dad a little bit.
Well, we try to put him around a lot of guys that have had success at multiple levels, and he's been a sponge. And we got a great offensive line that provide those opportunities for him to be able to use his skill set. But I agree. I think he'll be ready for the next level because that's how he's been taught. And the way we look at film and break down certain things within our offense. But yeah, he's able to utilize those things in space and get north and south when he needs to.
And you just mentioned that. I mean, people think that it's all AJ, but it's really not. You've got a really well-balanced offense. And in my mind, in watching some film, it begins up front. Talk about that offensive line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It sounds cliche, but on both sides of the ball, it starts up front. Our bigs have grown. We got a lot of maturity there. And a lot of guys play both ways, and they're excited. When you have AJ behind you or Aiden and a Rod and Coffee flick that ball around, I think it gives you a sense of pride to get those jobs done. And people realize, and it makes sense to say, hey, we're going to stop 33 or we're going to stop the run game that they have. But we have so many, weapons on the outside with Parr, McLean, Caleb Mays, Bethany. I mean, I could go on. And that's the fun part for me, calling plays is to be able to see, okay, what a defensive coordinator is trying to take away and play a little chess a little bit.
Absolutely. Defensive side, you've got your other son, the younger one, that was just named the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. Talk a little bit about him and what he brings leadership-wise to that defensive unit for you guys.
It's funny, he looks at the accolades big brother's getting, and he's hungry. He's the youngest.
Oh, yeah.
He's tenacious. He's tenacious on defense. And, beside Pally, we got some good linebackers that are not afraid to hit and shoot those gaps. And I think he's playing with a chip on his shoulder because he felt, slighted last year. So really all the kids in the area, or I guess across the country, the freshmen, they didn't really, this is their first year really getting a full season. So these guys are still puppies. And what a lot of people are seeing is just him being excited to be out there, fly around. And again, those bigs keep those guys off of him, being able to work up to him at the second level. So, like I said, when he gets his opportunity to make contact, he's going to do that.
COVID last year, and you've alluded to it a couple times, kind of took everybody out of their normal, so to say. How great was it to be able to have that summer of doing 7-on-7s and just getting into that normal routine and then getting into a full season, unlike what we had last year? Because I know, talking to a lot of coaches, that's paid a lot of dividends this year. And you've seen it on the field. I mean, I think this year, especially here in the Metro, was one of the best years for a lot of teams that I've seen. And I think a lot of the kids had a chip on their shoulder after not being able to, ball out all last year like they were normally able to.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just been a trickle-down effect because of those things that you mentioned. And one of the main things that we saw is our team building. The X's and O's, we say, hey, that's going to take care of itself. Yes, we were able to get out there, throw the ball around and get our actual off season in. But we did a lot of team building. We hung out together and let these kids relearn each other. They're talking to each other through the phone and the iPads and not being able to get that social life at school. So yeah, absolutely, it's paid big dividends.
Now you run into the state juggernaut in Class 2. I mean, this is a Lamar team that they're looking for their 9th state championship. They reeled off 7 straight, took a couple years, and then got it last year. I know you've watched film. I know what you know how to prep for them, but what are going to be the keys against Lamar for Lutheran St. Charles to get their first ever state championship on the football side?
Lamar, I laugh because that's literally just, they're like a one name. They're like Prince and Michael Jordan, right? You can just say Lamar, and they've earned that. Like I said, they're a program. They're where we would love to aspire to be. And one of the things we're trying to focus it on us. We can't get up into how many state championships they won, and they're undefeated. And to us, it's a great opportunity to go and compete and see where we are, against a team like that. And like you said, we're going to prepare the best way we can and let the chips fall where they may.
For you as a former NFL player, how cool is it for you to be able to take your kids to Faurot Field, where the University of Missouri plays, and coach in a state championship game? Just how awesome is that for you as a former NFL player, great college standout, to be able to bring your kids to the pinnacle in Class 2?
You know what? It's amazing. It's almost surreal. Even after this past Saturday, I took it in for a half a second. And it was like, hey, man, we got one more. We've been talking about this for a long time, this opportunity. And not just, my kids, but, a lot of these kids I've seen play since they were in third, fourth grade and had, built relationship with their family. So it's a very special moment. I would say the bulk of this senior class that played together at the youth level. It's funny, we made a pit stop at Mizzou when we played in the Show Me games. So it's like full circle to be able to come back and then finish their career on that field is amazing.
Awesome. Well, Arlen, I appreciate the time. I know it's a crazy week for everybody, but good luck to you guys. I'm excited for you and your kids, and I think it's going to be a terrific state championship game. But I appreciate you giving us the time here today to talk about your kids and talk about the season.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking time with me, Jim.
No problem. Arlen Harris, the head coach of Lutheran St. Charles. They get Lamar in the Class 2 state championship this weekend. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage for you right on sblive.com, Missouri. And we'll have a lot of articles and we'll have more interviews coming up here throughout the week. Thanks so much for tuning in.